The following is a presentation from PokerStars.com. Previously on the big game, loose cannon Andre Capella's been running bad, but he's still got a glimmer of hope.
That's what I'm talking about.
Meanwhile, across the table, Phil Hellmuth has been a bubbling cauldron of emotion.
Mother son of a...
One thing is guaranteed.
You guys are never smart enough to raise the right amount.
Tonight will be unpredictable.
PokerStars.com Big Game.
Welcome to Las Vegas, Nevada, where we play the big game. Alongside Joe Stapleton, I'm Chris Rose, and tonight we have more than $750,000 on the table in our state-of-the-art poker room.
This one goes to 11. The all-time bracelet winner, Phil Hellmuth Jr., is up over $60,000.
In addition to needling Phil Hellmuth, Daniel Negreanu has had a solid run so far this week. He is up nearly $35,000.
After laying down a monster pot to Dani last night in a 100K reload, Eugene finds himself back to square one, down one ante.
Everybody's favorite rapping vegan, Prahlad Friedman, is looking to make up some ground. He's down almost $52K.
New York native Daniel Stern has raised a few eyebrows. At one point, he was down over 60. Now he's up 18.5.
And our loose cannon is 76-year-old Andre Capella from the great state of Tennessee. The former race car driver finds himself stuck nearly $63,000 from the original $100,000 he was staked. For more on his role, here's Amanda Leatherman.
Once again, here are the rules for the loose cannon. At the start of the week, each loose cannon is staked with $100,000. But he or she only gets to keep the profit they earn above that $100K. At the end of the season, the loose cannon with the most winnings will also receive an NAPT passport worth $50,000. Now let's shuffle up and deal.
Despite a double up late last night, Andre is still the biggest loser. Phil's at the top of the leaderboard.
In fact, our loose cannon has yet to show a profit all week. Action begins with Prahlad. He folds. Eugene Katchalov follows suit. Daniel's out.
1,600.
Phil raises to 1,600.
16, huh?
Yep.
Pair of jacks for Dani Stern. Stern and Hellmuth got into it at the table last night. Dani calls.
Looks like Donnie's continuing his trend of getting in Phil's way. Dani hasn't re-raised because he's out of position and he gets to under-rep his hand.
Deuce, ace, king, 2 diamonds. Stern checks. Hellmuth checks.
Phil's out flop Dani, but he checks for pot control.
Stern now with a set of jacks after the turn.
Terrible card for Phil. Donnie's looking to bet for value and start building a pot for an even bigger river bet.
Stern bets 2,800. Hellmuth quickly calls with second pair.
Hard to know that jack hit Dani.
The river. The 8 of clubs.
The 8 doesn't really change anything for Phil. He's still likely to pay off a reasonable value bet on the river.
Stern makes it 6,500.
Phil's just been led into twice, which is strong, but he hates being bluffed. He may be trying to convince himself that Donnie's bluffing since Phil checked the flop. When you check behind with a marginal hand, sometimes you end up paying off bets you shouldn't. You convince yourself your opponent is bluffing because you gave him or her the opportunity to bluff. Let's see if Phil's up to making one of his classic laydowns.
Nope, he calls.
You're gonna like this one.
God, I just knew the jack hurt me. I almost said something out loud.
You almost said something out loud.
I should have said it.
Shit, that would have changed something.
About the flop, I was trying to milk him. What am I gonna do?
You milked me. Moo.
Nice card, man. Good hand.
So Stern picks up the pot, and here are the rules of the big game. Each table lasts exactly 150 hands. The action pre-flop is pot limit, then no limit after the flop. Blinds are 2 and 400 with a $100 ante, all of which is paid by the player on the button. And every player begins with at least $100,000, but can reload for up to $500,000.
So you lose that pot, does that mean you're more likely to straddle now?
Yeah.
Phil's back.
I just knew it was a jack, too. Ah, dang, but he couldn't have queen 10. It's like I had to pay it off.
Poker can be very masochistic. Sometimes you know you're beaten, you just have to see it anyway.
Eugene folds. Same with Daniel.
16.
1600.
Uh-oh. Ah, that one hurt. Created a monster.
Phil raises.
Phil should probably make it less obvious that he's steaming.
Dani, suited in the small blind, calls. Prahlad also suited.
This is a hand a lot of players would defend in the big blind, especially against a steaming poker brat.
And Friedman will do so. 3 to the flop, which is 9-Jack-6. Top 2 for Hellmuth.
Phil's locking on the tractor beams.
Stern the first to act.
Donnie's open-ended with an overcard.
And bets 3,600. Friedman folds. And Phil raises to 15,000.
Donnie was hoping to take it down with a semi-bluff. Phil's just told Donnie where he can put that semi-bluff. Phil's raise is pretty big. On the off chance Donnie has a set, he's kind of painted himself into a corner. Keep in mind, you want players with draws to call you.
Phil gets what he wants.
Wow. Nice hand.
The turn is the 8 of hearts.
Donnie's made his straight. Phil was just joking, but I think his mindset coach must be teaching him the secret or something. Or maybe instead of reading the book Blink, he accidentally read Bink. Donnie's in a great spot because he's got the nuts, and he's pretty sure Phil's got something big as well.
Stern bets 25 grand. Hellmuth quickly calls.
To quote Phil from yesterday, that's a snap call, kid. Even though he's dead to a boat.
The river, the 7 of hearts.
The only thing Donnie's worried about is the slim chance that Phil made runner hearts. And since Phil made his big moves before the hearts came into play, Donnie can be pretty confident Phil didn't make a flush. It'll be safe for him to value bet this river.
Stern makes it 35,000.
Phil's got to have a pretty good idea he's beat now. There's a 4-card straight out there, 3 hearts. Phil has to wonder what hands would have called a huge raise on the flop and then led the turn in river.
35, yes.
Is this for real? I mean, are these hands for real?
Phil's impression of David after dentist. Wow. Phil can't believe he's been run down again. He may be trying to talk himself into making a I can't be this unlucky call. Donnie's also given him pretty good odds to make this call. 35K more to win over 120, about 4 to 1. Phil should maybe be suspicious of getting such a good price.
Wow. What can I beat? I mean, I guess I can beat Jack 8.
Phil's trying to figure out what hands he can beat, and that's why this is taking so long. There aren't any.
All right.
Phil calls.
Ejector seat in 3, 2, 1, blast off.
I'm shocked he called. I didn't think he was gonna call these.
Hands for real?
I don't know what you could have to call the raise and just fire. That was weird. I thought you were gonna lay that one down, brother.
Nice hand, buddy.
Nice hand, buddy. Where's my blow up?
Okay, I'll lead it off. You want to go?
I mean, what the f?
That's more like it.
The big game is just getting going. Much more from Las Vegas coming your way after this. Welcome back to Las Vegas, where Phil Hellmuth is still steaming after having top 2 pair, but losing to a straight against Donnie Stern.
so sick. I mean, when they make a straight against Daniel, he always fills it up, and then they just give him 100,000.
Me? I mean, have you guys ever watched TV poker before?
I mean, is that
I know. I've never like. Me? Pick me. The guy who flops straights and looks at quads every time.
it's just unbelievable?
Yeah.
The cannon calls Daniel straddle.
Peeled an 8 off for me. Can't come up.
So? And then
So sick. You can't find a queen on the turn so that he can lose like 50,000 almost dead or. No.
Dani raises.
Frickin' guy, just an 8. Put in 15,000 to draw to an open under. Found an 8. I'm glad you're having fun.
this is why Phil Hellmuth makes all the big bucks.
Play us 400 million.
Friedman calls. Eugene's out.
Is this for real?
He's doing the walk.
Sorry, buddy.
Sorry, buddy.
I don't even know why I play poker anymore, I'll tell you.
Stop.
The cannon calls.
Andre still limp calling with big hands. Hasn't worked out for him thus far.
I can't take it. I mean, I'm telling you, it's just, this is ridiculous.
The flop. King 6-4.
Andre's got top pair, second best kicker. He's out of position, so he should check to the razor.
It's just unreal.
Friedman checks. Capella bets 10,000.
Andre raises his donk bet rating. Donnie's also got top pair, though he's out kicked. He does have position. He's probably at least a little worried about what Andre has. Most times he's let out, he's been very strong.
Stern calls. Friedman folds.
Good luck, Andre. No offense, Donnie.
It's okay.
The turn. The 10 of hearts. Stern pairs his kicker.
Daniel just brought Andre anything but luck.
Such bad shape, it's just sick. Look at Phil.
Do you want to sit out? So just keep dealing? Okay.
Phil's going to his happy place. Donnie called the flop. Maybe it'll look like he was on a draw, and the heart will save Andre a bit.
Nope. Bets 10,000.
Andre's now firing when he's drawing almost dead.
Donnie's like, what the hell?
I'm not laughing at the hand, I'm laughing at Phil.
You see Phil?
The sky is falling over there.
Stern raises to 90,000.
If Andre makes this call, he's very likely to be going home, but he's only got 23,000 left behind, so he might feel he has to make this call with top pair.
Suppose you made it hard, yeah. Well, I might, but there's no point in. I call it.
All in.
All right.
Too
I
bad.
just got king.
Got a king with a 10. Oh, ugly.
I had a 10 too.
You want to run it more once?
Tennessee.
Yeah, do it twice.
Twice. Okay, there we go. Run it twice. Oh, unlucky though.
Yeah. I got there.
Queen.
They're running it twice, playing for half the pot each time. And Andre does not win the first one.
Andre's going to need a queen to stay in the game.
Okay, you got one more chance now. You're not dead yet. You can still get your money back if a queen comes.
If not, Andre will be knocked out. Kind of like Phil.
Oh, what a tough beat Andre took here.
The river. The 3 of hearts. And Capella is out.
Oh, well.
It's good playing you, man. Really nice to meet you.
It's okay.
Sorry, Andre. It's an unlucky way to
Thanks,
go
Dan.
out. Unlucky.
Yeah, but,
Andre.
at least I could say I had the better hand.
Yeah, you did. You can go home and tell them these dumb internet punks. Don't they know I always have it?
Thanks a lot. It was been fun playing with you guys.
So our loose cannon goes kaboom.
Looks like the rest of this game will be played a cappella.
Meanwhile, Donnie Stern has turned it around. Stuck over 65 grand at one point. Stern is now up nearly 150,000. Meanwhile, Phil is fading both financially and emotionally.
God, it's just so sick. finally decided to play a big hand with the nuts, and they hit their miracle there too.
I thought you said you had 10-8.
I didn't think you were that stupid to believe it, but maybe you are.
I mean, I didn't think you were stupid enough to call,
Bam!
but since we're making personal attacks already.
Yeah, another bad winner, huh?
I'm a bad winner? Is that what you're saying?
Didn't you just say that didn't you say I was just stupid enough to
Didn't
call?
you just say I was stupid enough to believe
Yeah,
you?
I'm a bad loser. You're 10 times as bad as a bad winner.
Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Because I shot it back at you after you just called me stupid, so I'm the bad winner? Are you kidding me?
You needled me about having 10-8. For
I
some
didn't needle
reason.
you. You said I had 10-8.
Obviously, I was kidding. So you needled
Obviously,
me about
you're
that.
kidding.
So
Why
I
is
said
that
something
obvious? You
back
called
to
the river when there was a 4 straight on the board. Why is it obvious that you didn't have 10-8? Good stuff. How could it possibly be obvious
See, here's
that
the
you didn't
beautiful
have
thing.
10-8?
You honestly don't think you've been out of line at all, and that's amazing to me.
That's what?
I know that I've been out of line, but I'm a man. I admit it. Now's your chance. You're 23. I don't think you could admit it.
Admit that I'm out of line? Are you kidding me?
Wow. Do they capture all this for the camera?
I hope so.
I think we might get that.
Wow.
Opinions are like bad beat stories. Everybody's got one and nobody wants to hear them.
Will Donnie and Phil continue to clash? Find out when we come back. Welcome back to the big game where Phil and Donnie are still going at it.
I didn't think you were stupid enough.
Because he needled me about the 10-8. He made the first comment about the 10-8.
Did you call him stupid first?
I mean, how old are we? This is ridiculous.
You said, I didn't think you were stupid enough to believe me that I had 10-8. So you're essentially saying, oh, I guess he is that stupid.
Yeah, and then then he did say that. He did then say, I guess you are that stupid.
What'd you say about the 10-8? Well, why did you make that comment to me back? Why did you? That started it to me. You said something about.
So I started. It's who started it now. That's what you're arguing about? I mean, Phil.
You guys both.
We're adults here.
Well, I think he reacted though to you. I didn't hear the 10-8 part. What did you say there?
No, he said
He needled me. He needled me with the 10-8 first, and
What do
then
you needle?
I
What do you mean needled you?
said some comment about he was needling me. Oh yeah, I thought you had 10-8.
No, I didn't. Phil, you
Oh, you
said
didn't say that.
No,
oh,
I didn't.
You didn't
What
say
do you
anything
wanna
about
bet?
10-8.
No, you said
Oh,
you had
really?
10-8. You said you had 10-8.
Yeah. That's what I said. Obviously, I was kidding.
Why should I know you were kidding? I mean, you were saying it. Every other time you say what you had, and this time I'm supposed to know.
So he said you had 10-8 and you laughed about it or something?
No, I didn't.
No, he made some clever comment.
Phil.
But the thing is, all I wanted to do is admit that he had a partner, and he didn't. So, I mean, what a surprise.
Well, if you want to straddle, you're allowed to, Phil.
What a surprise.
You're absolutely allowed
Phil, you think I'm like
No,
trying to
better
start
not.
something? I'm not trying to make a beef here. I'm just.
No, that's
I'm
not
just
the
defending.
point.
I'm
I
just
just
defending
asked if you
myself.
were out of line at all, and you said no. I guess that's what
you
you're
were the
saying.
first one to say, I guess you are that stupid. And then he said,
I said that, of course.
Phil,
I admit that I was out of line.
Okay.
I
here,
just asked you to
I'll
admit
give
you're
it
out
to
of line, and you said no.
Phil, listen.
That's fine.
Phil,
So
I
the
know
public
look,
can hope to watch that.
I know you were just.
And
you're
we'll
just-
see. We'll see if you can find like 1% to agree that you weren't out of line a little bit.
I mean, if you want to take it there, if you want to take it there, that's
1%?
fine.
Okay.
Phil, I'm not trying to start anything. I'm not trying to do anything. I didn't mean to hurt you or offend you in any way. I was just saying back what you said
In the
to
last
me.
cash game, I decided to play Ace King Heart against King 9 when it came King 7 Deuce, and the guy hit a 9. So sick.
You just reloaded, right?
Yeah.
So you got what?
Yeah, Prahlad just added on with an additional 50,000.
A little less than 100. Okay.
I guess that's an interesting question for viewers at home. If someone calls you stupid first, is it okay? Are you equally out of line if you call them stupid back? That's the question. Because he did that. You called him stupid, and then he said, no, you're stupid. So
What
it's
about
like,
the 10-8 is where it started, where he needled some subtle needle about
think that
10-8.
was,
He said,
subtle-
didn't you have 10-8? And he had the smug look on his face.
But you said you
Rewind
had
that back.
10-8,
Smug look.
which he didn't believe.
I'm guilty of the smug look.
You are. Smug, you smugger, you.
Donnie has been pretty smug to Phil.
7 Jack Deuce on the flop, so Stern flops a set and checks.
No, I just said he was a bad winner. That's all I said. I'm a bad loser. I know that.
Prahlad re-raised pre-flop, so Donnie's giving him a chance to continuation bet.
He does, firing 8,000 with nothing.
This pot may look heads up, but Donnie's actually facing 2 opponents right now. Prahlad in the hand and Phil Hellmuth in the argument.
But no 23-year-old would ever admit any part in being wrong, ever. So I guess what he said was justified.
Right now, Donnie would be justified to make a raise. If Prahlad's semi-bluffing, Donnie's going to want to charge him the draw. If he raises, he can take down the pot now or build a pot while he still likes his hand.
There's the raise to 25,000. And Prahlad folds. Another good pot for the kid at the table. And Joe, this just continues a trend we've seen lately.
Even though Dani was off to a very rocky start, he's continued to play his game well, and now that the cards have started to run in his favor, he's getting the better end of each large pot. His total profit-loss swing has been $228,100.
Dani is now the most profitable player at the table, taking that mantle away from Phil.
He tipped you $5? Here, all you do is deal. Here, you take that.
Didn't we talk about this before?
You are just all class, Phil.
It's up to you, Mr. Stern.
Just all class.
You're really handling yourself well. You're the big winner on the table. You just won every pot. You just put bad beats on, put a bad beat on me, and now
you're trying to show me up, right? Because I only tipped $5.
Can't you just shut up and say? Can't you just shut up and say, yeah, maybe you're right, Phil. Maybe I should have tipped more.
Wouldn't that just be the perfect universe where everyone just said, okay, you're right, Phil, right? That would just be perfect for you?
I like this stuff. It's fun.
I mean, I know you're more used to getting irate at the table, so you probably think if you can get everyone riled up.
I'm a man. I admit when I'm wrong. So,
okay.
For what I said, I was wrong. All right, that's what I admit.
What do you want of me? You want me to say I'm sorry that I called you stupid?
No, I don't want you. I don't expect you to do anything. All I say is I'm wrong.
Here we can.
Dani, now you're supposed to say you're wrong.
Okay, the poker continues with Eugene Katchalov, who folds. Pocket eights for Daniel. Raises to 1,500. 8, 9 for Phil.
Phil's steaming, and he's got connected cards that are the same color.
Man, I was hoping he wouldn't go out like that.
Daniel referring to our loose cannon Andre Capella, whose seat we are still trying to fill, and will momentarily.
Did seem kind of brutal.
Phil has re-raised. Action over to Prahlad, who folds.
You steaming, Phil?
I'm pretending to be steaming.
Okay, but I think I can't fold.
Okay.
So what is it, 57? How can I fold this hand? That's so stupid. Right?
Hard to comment.
I don't want to fold. I just don't want to. I'm not gonna. I don't care. I don't care if it's Phil Hellmuth. I don't care how many bracelets he's got. I want to see the dang flop.
Well, you got the 3-4 diamonds?
Well, something like that. But no, I don't have 3-4 diamonds.
That's pretty
I have a
good.
strong hand, buddy. That's what I play. Strong hands.
The flop, 4 Queen King.
Check.
Daniel checks.
Daniel was way ahead pre-flop. He's increased his lead even further now.
Phil bets 8,000.
This isn't a great flop for 2-8s, but I don't think Daniel can fold this hand just yet to Phil when he's tilting.
Daniel calls.
If Phil wants to win this one, he's going to have to make a showdown as expensive as possible.
Wowzer. King Jack?
5 of spades on the turn. Daniel checks.
Even if he does fire another bullet here, Daniel still may not fold to him.
Phil fires 17,000.
I should have just put it all in before the flop like I planned, but now I'm going to fold.
All in before the flop?
Yeah.
Yeah, you win it. I agree. I'm not going to lie.
So Phil picks up the pot. Joe Stapleton, it's stats time.
Yet another time, Phil 3-bet pre-flop. He wins the hand. Let's look at each player's 3-bet percentage. As you can see, Hellmuth is raising pre-flop 16% of the time, 3 times more than most of the table. Meanwhile, Daniel to his right is re-raising pre-flop 11% of the time.
Hey, we're going to fill that empty seat with a bona fide superstar. See who it is after this. Welcome back to Las Vegas, Nevada, home of the big game. Quick reminder that stats for every hand of the big game, as well as bonus footage and uncensored clips deemed too hot for TV, can all be found on the website. I told you we were going to fill the seat of 76-year-old Andre Capella. We have done so with 23-year-old Jason Mercier.
Jason's from Fort Lauderdale. He's got 14 World Series of Poker cashes, and he's just shy of $5 million in live tournament winnings. He's starting off tonight with 100 grand.
What's everyone opening to? Can everyone tell me what they're opening to?
I was doing 12 earlier and I was getting crushed.
15.
What about you, Prahlad? If you raise.
Prahlad hasn't opened yet. He only re-raised.
Only 3 bets?
Only re-raised.
He's 3-betting less than 5% of the time, which could explain why he's been so quiet.
Phil gets us started with 4. Limps in.
Limpy, limpy.
Limpy, limpy.
Mercier folds. Queen Jack for Dani Stern. Raises to 1,700.
Once again, Dani Stern is tangling with Phil Hellmuth.
Prahlad folds. Eugene's out. Daniel with suited connectors is in. And Phil's going to stick around.
There you go, buddy.
Limpy, limpy could be anything for me.
No, I know. You're just all over the place.
See, Dani should take a lesson from Daniel's way less obvious condescension.
Ace, queen, deuce on the flop. Daniel checks bottom pair. Phil checks.
Everyone's got a pair now. Donnie's got top pair.
And checks. The turn, the 5 of spades.
Daniel's picked up a gut shot to go with his pair.
Daniel bets 2,200.
Phil's also got a gutter ball. If he makes it, it would make 2 pair for Daniel.
Hellmuth is called.
Daniel straight would make a set for Phil. Donnie's still got the best hand. Been plenty of action behind him. He may be a little cautious.
Dani calls.
You can pull like a 4 out there. Some wheelie-dealy card for the big blind one time.
It's not a 4, it's the Jack of diamonds.
Donnie's hand improves to 2 pair.
I'm going to check.
Check it.
Goes check, check over to Stern.
Now that Donnie's got 2 pair and it's been checked to him, he might think it's safe to make a value bet.
And it's a $5,000. Daniel folds.
I limp big. That didn't work either.
Phil's out, and Donnie's smiling.
With a medium pair.
Is it 10s?
4s, man.
Phil's not winning. You're not winning. Prahlad's not winning.
No.
Is anyone winning?
Funny you should ask. We've played 95 hands so far this week on the big game. Joe, tell us about it.
4 of our pros are down, while Donnie Young Money Stern has fattened his Velcro wallet considerably. He's up over 166,000.
And Phil, I think, wants to know if that Velcro also works on Donnie's mouth. Thanks for the hearty laugh.
No Velcro on this mouth.
Action folds around to Prahlad Friedman. Jack 8. Sits out. Eugene Katchalov. Ace 5 suited.
Suited ace on the button. Pretty automatic.
Raised to 1,500. Ace queen suited for Daniel.
Speaking of suited aces, Daniel's got a nice one.
He calls.
Wow.
What?
You might have something this time. I still pot it, though. Pot.
Phil re-raises to 6,600.
Phil's new aggressive style is just getting reckless. Looks like Eugene might not be buying it.
Eugene calls.
Total 66, right?
Daniel calls too.
Dude, anybody call me?
I'm going to check to Phil Hellmuth. I'm going to check to Mr.
Anybody
Hellmuth.
call me?
The flop, 9 ace 5.
Top and bottom pair for Eugene.
Check.
Daniel's checking top pair. Daniel's checked to Phil to allow him to continue to rep a big hand.
75.
And he does, betting 7,500.
Phil never disappoints. Eugene is trying to figure out how to get max value out of his 2 pair.
I'll take it now, boys. I'll take it now.
Phil's talking, maybe convincing Eugene that he's got something he can call a raise with.
Eugene raises to 23,000.
This is a tough spot for Daniel. He's out of position and facing a raise made into 2 opponents. It's possible he could put Eugene on a bluff raise meant to chase out a steaming Phil Hellmuth. But even if Eugene is value raising, Daniel's still ahead of a few of those hands, like ace-10 or ace-jack.
Negreanu calls.
What in the heck is going on here? I'm getting just a little bit frustrated, boys. I mean, I wait till I have this before I re-raise. They both call, and they put in 23,000 each on the flop. Nice. It's just really nice. Poker's a lot of fun today. A lot of fun.
Somebody wheel out the soapbox.
A lot of fun.
The turn, the 8 of spades.
Daniel's just picked up the nut flush draw.
And checks. And Eugene checks.
With Daniel calling that flop raise, it's possible Eugene just wants some pot control.
King of clubs on the river.
Daniel's position has put him in a tight spot, but if he did put Eugene on ace-jack or ace-10, the king doesn't help, and he might think he has the best hand. That check on the turn may have also confused him.
Daniel bets 15 grand.
Now Eugene does have to consider that Daniel maybe hit a flush or made a better 2-pair, but aces up is a tough one to lay down. Daniel's not really meant to bluff here, even though he's betting with the worst hand. It's a bit of a blocker bet so he can get a cheap showdown, and there might be enough out there to avoid getting raised.
Eugene calls.
I don't think it's good, but you got it.
And Katchalov takes down a 6-figure pot.
Yeah.
Call my raise. I just call my raise with ace-5. That's what they call my raise with.
You know, even when Phil doesn't go the distance in a hand, he's still the one crying a river. Find out if he's still chatting about it when we come back. Welcome back to Las Vegas, home of the big
Actually,
game.
spade on the river. I don't think you see
Action
that.
continues with Prahlad Friedman. 6 tray, folds.
What?
Queen 10 suited for Eugene Katchalov.
Yeah, he'd call for sure. 100%, I think.
Raised to 1,500. King 8 suited for Daniel.
Clubs missing and everything.
Re-raises to 4,500. Phil quickly calls.
I love how he beats me in the pot. Beats the 3-better in the pot.
Mercier folds his ace.
Jason's folded 2 cards that would be helpful to Phil.
Donnie's out.
Phil's call's given better odds for Eugene to make this call.
And Eugene does.
We've got 3 of the 4 suits represented here.
Those hearts feel so left out.
Owner of a lonely heart.
6-9-5.
Airball for Eugene.
He checks.
Daniel's only got a gut shot, but that plus the pre-flop lead looks like it's going to be good enough for a continuation bet.
There it is to 6,500.
Phil's got a monster draw. I'm going to call it a flush shot.
Hellmuth calls.
Oh, and he's got the best hand with ace-high.
Oh, by the way. Katchalov folds.
2 of the best.
Jack of diamonds on the turn. Daniel checks. And Phil checks.
Both these guys decide to slow down when they miss the turn.
10 of diamonds on the river. Phil's ace high still best.
Daniel's river to flush draw.
What would we call the 6th card to come?
Super river.
King high.
Pretty nice to win a hand even when you've completely bricked out.
Hellmuth takes down a pot of nearly 28,000.
A few moments ago, we showed you Daniel was second in 3-bet percentage, but as you can see here, Phil isn't afraid to call any raise pre-flop. He's number 1 in that category. Since he's the most likely to be involved in a big pot, it may have something to do with the fact that he's sitting to the left of the other 2 most active players in the game. At this table of aggressive players, Phil's done a pretty good job of changing gears.
Well, Phil will get us started because Daniel's on the straddle.
Daniel's raising Phil already.
Pocket pair for Phil.
How to win the max from here.
Probably limping.
Another dig from Dani.
No, let's 4K it.
It's too much.
36, right?
36.
Max bet is actually to 3,600. Pot limit pre-flop. Phil's attempting to win the max by betting the max. Risky proposition.
Action folds around to Prahlad. King 10 suited. He calls. Katchalov folds.
36, yep.
Yep.
Daniel's in with a suited one gapper.
Prahlad hopped the fence. Wowie.
Prahlad hasn't been playing many hands tonight.
10 Jack 8 all clubs. Friedman checks middle pair. Daniel checks.
Club check. Check.
And Phil checks.
Surprised that when Phil hears the word club, he doesn't immediately try to order bottle service.
How about hearing 4 of clubs? Prahlad checks.
Hang on.
Daniel checks.
4,400.
Phil bets 4,400.
Phil Hellmuth is putting on a position clinic.
I can't make a bet look any weaker than this.
Prahlad's only got second pair and no club.
1 down, 2 down. Take it, Phil.
Why did you think that bet looked so weak?
It just looked weak. Didn't it look weak?
I'm just curious. I was wondering what he would say.
Well, you were watching. Did it look weak, Jason, or not? Tell the truth.
Oh. With the speech or without the speech?
Without the speech, it looked pretty weak, right?
The way you threw it in or the amount?
Both.
No opinion.
I think Prahlad folded just to avoid the speech.
Weak or strong, Phil continues his aggressive play and rakes in more cash. We're coming back with more after this. Welcome back to Las Vegas, where we play the big game.
All right, Donnie, because I threw those red chips, I didn't like that move on my part. That didn't show enough class. I'm buying you a bottle of Dom Perignon, sir, as a way of apologizing.
Phil, that's not necessary, man.
No, I'm buying you a bottle of Dom. You got it.
The best way to follow up one gauche and incredibly body move is by making another, I guess.
Actually, house rule for every bottle that goes to a player, 2 go to the broadcast booth.
Cheers, buddy.
Action folds around to Daniel. Raise to 3,000. Phil snap calls again.
Daniel's favorite hand is 10-7 offsuit, but with specific suits, this isn't quite it.
King-Queen suited for Dani. Or maybe Dom-E. Calls.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yummy, yum.
That was the sound of Prahlad's range widening with all this money in the pot. Havana Banana might not even be good enough, though, but it is suited.
It is good enough. He calls. The flop, 6-Queen-5.
Donnie's flop top pair.
Looks like he's about to lead out. He does to 8,000.
Wants to try to protect that pair.
Friedman and Negreanu fold. Now Phil with bottom pair.
Phil and Dani have gotten into it plenty tonight. We might see another bottle of Dom purchased after this hand.
Phil calls.
Let's gamble, kid.
Keep in mind, only one of them is gambling.
The turn, the ace of spades.
That ace doesn't complete any draws, and Phil hasn't folded to a 3-bet yet, so he's obviously calling light a lot. Let's see if Dani is undeterred by the ace.
Stern fires again, this time 18,000.
Phil's now got fourth pair, and he's picked up no more outs here on the turn.
And Phil's going. So Dani rakes in more chips, but let's focus on the new and improved Phil, Joe.
Nice hand, baby.
This new complimentary Phil isn't the nit some make him out to be. He's calling pre-flop raises a ton. He's never folding to 3-bets, and he's not backing down after the flop either. He's calling continuation bets almost half the time.
Katchalov straddles, so Daniel first to act on this hand. 9-4. See ya. Phil?
Well, it's so easy to do in the hold'ems because there's not that many people, right?
I'm going to raise the pot. What is it, 32?
36.
36.
36, all right.
Phil raises to 3,600.
Hellmuth somewhat light again from early position.
Mercier, king, queen offsuit.
Jason hasn't been at the table very long, but he might already be catching on to Phil's newfound aggression.
Plus, Mercier is on the button. Re-raises to 11-5.
That's a re-raise there.
Queen 5 suited for Dani Stern.
Looks like Dani might be up to something. Dani might know that Jason knows Phil is likely to have raised light. Maybe tough for Dani to give Jason credit for a hand.
So it's one of those he knows that he knows that he knows.
We're up to like 3 levels, like Inception.
Now we're up to a 4-bet.
Wowie. Baby doll, give me it.
Prahlad's added another 50,000 to his stack. Big sweat with all this money in the pot.
Not that big.
Wow.
Katchalov folds.
Definitely calling 8 more, but
Phil's out.
Jason looked like he had a read on Phil. Let's see if he has any sort of read on the fact that he's got Dani dominated. Jason has to be considering whether Donnie's actually got a hand or if he thinks Dani thinks he might be making a play. A 4-bet in this spot looks mighty strong coming from Dani, however. Jason would be behind to any ace.
Mercier folds. And Dani takes one down again.
Pure aggression.
Time to check in on the big game bank account. Dani has pulled a 180 and is now up 188. Meanwhile, his nemesis Phil Hellmuth managed to turn a profit as well.
Jason Mercier just showed up. He's stuck a bit. Daniel continues to fall. Horrible day for Prahlad, and there will be no victory lap for Andre Capella.
All right, guys, that was the last hand of the night. Phil, Dani, isn't it better to just be friends?
Play nice.
well, I mean, sometimes I don't always play as nice as I should, but I always admit it when I don't.
All right. Well,
I apologize, Tim.
You
I'm
guys
buying a
promise
bottle
me.
of Dom.
Promise me no more fighting tomorrow night.
I can't promise that.
Never mind. I'm Amanda Leatherman saying goodbye for now. And remember, if you've got the cash and the guts, there's always a seat open at the big game. See you next time.
For Joe Stapleton, I'm Chris Rose. See you tomorrow night. The preceding was a presentation from PokerStars.com.